Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at an Uwe Rosenberg classic called Agricola. Agricola is a game published by, well, my version by Z-Man, but it's also Lookout. Designed by Uwe Rosenberg. Plays 1 to 5 players, I think like an hour and 20 minutes if you're playing max player count. Oh, that's probably accurate. Effectively, what you're doing in this game is you are running a farm. A family who has a family farm. And you're basically trying to acquire different building materials, different types of food, because you want to build your house, you want to upgrade your house into better types of material, you want to get animals in your player board, you want to fence them in so they don't run away, you want to get some stables. And all this is done through some worker placement. You're going to send a worker out to a spot and do some things. But the interesting thing with this one is every player is going to get 14 cards. You're going to have some occupations and some minor improvements that are going to drastically change what you're doing throughout the game and possibly help you when you take certain actions that may make them better. Okay? All that's random. Big deck of cards, shuffle it, deal them out. What you get. And that kind of is what separates this game from a lot of other worker placement games. That's enough really talking. I don't want to go too much more into that. That's final thought stuff. But if you want to check it out, you can click the link in the video description, and I'll play through a few rounds. I think through like the first 2 harvests of the game, just so you can see how it works. If you don't care about that, stick around here, and we'll take a look at the components. Alright, so here are the components for Agricola. First off, let's look at that box. That is Clemens Franz in all of his glory. I did another Uwe game not that long ago. Was not Clemens Franz. Made me sad and also excited. But really deep down, I do like Clemens Franz art. It's charming. So, there you go. That is the box. So let's take a look at the rest of the components here. Whoops. Most of the game is cards and wooden bits. So let's just go ahead and look at it. Here's the player boards out here. There's actually another one, but it's basically just going to be a bunch of worker placement spaces that you can go to. And you can kind of see them here. They're going to fill up with stuff as the game goes on. The longer stuff sits there, the more attractive the spaces are, okay? And here's all the player bits. You got fences. You're going to start with some wooden house. You're going to have some stables, some worker placement discs. As you're going to have your own player board that you can store goods and all that kind of thing. Over here are major improvements. These are available every game. Those are cards that everybody's going to be fighting for to help you convert animal into food and all that kind of stuff. But the crux of this game are, I guess, these decks here. Now, there's a whole pile of decks. I only have 3 or 4. And each game, everybody's going to get 7 occupation and 7 minor improvements. And the cards are going to do a whole bunch of crazy things. Like, if you look at this one, you can renovate your wooden hut to a stone hut without first needing to renovate it to a clay hut. That's fantastic. That's going to save you at least like 2 actions and a whole pile of time. So these are going to do crazy things, but they get more expensive. The first one you play is free, then you got to pay food. And then you're going to have these crazy improvement cards, which are going to give you maybe in-game points. Maybe when you play this card, immediately extend your stone house by 1 room. That's cool. Whenever you turn 1 wood into food using the joinery, sawmill, or cabinet, you receive an additional food. So they're going to do crazy things as well. So while you're all trying to collect goods and do stuff on your player board, you're also trying to get these cards out that, do a whole bunch of things. So cards are good quality, not linen finished, but, I like the vibe. Tons of resources here. That's not even all of them. I just got some of them out so I can have them. These are little guest tokens that may get used, but overall, I like the components. Sure, it looks old, but I don't let looks turn me away from games. So those are the components. Let's talk about what we think about the game. Alright, so Agricola is one of the first Uwe games that I ever got. I played it, and I fell in love with it. Now, it has a loving nickname called Misery Farm, which is pretty accurate. It's an unforgiving game. You can lose a lot of points by not doing something. So in this game, you need to do everything. That doesn't mean you have to specialize in everything. It means you just have to dabble a little bit in everything, but then you can take your own route and do what you want. Because you're going to lose points if you neglect some areas of your farm. But I love everything about this game. I love how, as the game progresses, more worker placement spaces open up. I love that you have to wait a certain amount of time while you're building your family before you can get additional workers in the family planning stage. But in order to build a family, you have to have a room in your house for that new family member to live. Animals. You want to have animals in your pens. Different types of animals have to stay in separate pens. You have 2 or more animals. They can reproduce, give you little baby animals. And the thing that I hate the most, you got to feed your people. That bites me in my butt every time. But everything about this game, I love it. It's a puzzle of efficiency. You're trying to make the best out of what few actions you can take. You're trying to do everything. You can't do everything. So you're trying to at least do a little bit of everything and then specialize in the things you really want to do because maybe you have some occupations or some improvements that give you extra points. I love this game. I can't say enough about it. I love it. I'm not sure if it's my favorite Uwe game. I can't say that for sure. I may like some other ones better, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely a solid game. Definitely one that I will gladly play anytime someone wants to play it. Yeah, it's just fantastic. All the cards make it different every single time. I have no complaints. None at all. So I'm going to give this a BGM Accept the Seal. This is going to get a 9 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 4.5 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that is what I'm going to do. So that is Agricola from, well, mine's Z-Man or Lookout. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.